The blizzard roared outside, a relentless whiteout swallowing the mountain road whole. Evelyn Hart, a woman forged in the cutthroat world of boardrooms, felt her iron control shatter in an instant. Her Mercedes, that fortress of engineered power, slid helplessly into oblivion. When the airbag's chemical dust finally cleared, the silence hit harder than the crash itself. Alive. The word wasn't relief. It was raw, desperate anger. She wouldn't die here. Not like this, stumbling through waist-deep snow, her designer clothes turning to frozen armor. Evelyn spotted it. A single, defiant light. A cabin. She dragged herself onto the porch, numb fists pounding the rough wood. Help, please. Her voice cracked into a raw, rattling sob. The cold had become a living thing, creeping into her bones, stealing her breath. Hypothermia. The door swung open, heat poured out, scalding her frozen skin. And there, framed in the doorway, stood Daniel Cole. 6 months, 6 agonizing months since she'd torn his life apart. His face, etched with a raw weariness she hadn't remembered, flashed through shock, recognition, then a brutal, glacial coldness. "You," he said, not a question, a pronouncement that cut deeper than the wind. Evelyn swayed, her legs buckling beneath her. Daniel caught her just in time, his hands gripping her arms. His whole body stiffened, a violent tension rippling through him at the touch. For one sickening moment, she saw the war raging in his eyes, his fundamental decency battling the hatred she'd earned. He could let her fall. She felt it. That razor's edge of a choice? "Please," she chattered, teeth aching with cold. "I'm sorry. So sorry. Please help me." His jaw clenched, muscles flexing. Then, without a word, he pulled her inside, kicking the door shut against the howling storm. The cabin's warmth hit like a dizzying wave, a painful embrace against her frozen flesh. She stood there, dripping, convulsing with shivers, leaving puddles on his worn wooden floor. "Strip," Daniel said, his voice clipped and sterile. "Your clothes. Wet clothes will kill you. Get them off. Now." He turned away, heading toward the bedroom door, leaving her alone with the humiliating intimacy of the command. Evelyn's pale, clumsy fingers fumbled with the coat buttons. "Useless. I can't," she rasped, hating how small her voice sounded. Daniel returned, arms full of blankets. He saw her struggle, and something in his hard gaze softened. Just a fraction. "Turn around." She obeyed, the motion awkward and slow. She felt his hands on her shoulders, impersonal yet deliberate, unfastening each button. Every click echoed in the sudden silence, followed by the heavy, wet thud of her coat hitting the floor. The rest of it, everything wet. "I'll be in the bedroom." "There's a bathroom through that door." He pressed a soft, worn flannel robe and thick quilts into her arms. The fabric smelled faintly of wood smoke. Of him. He disappeared behind the bedroom door, closing it with unnerving finality. The bathroom was small, but blessedly warm. Evelyn peeled off her soaked clothes, each layer revealing skin mottled white and red, screaming as circulation returned. The simple flannel robe felt enormous, enveloping her in sudden, unfamiliar comfort. Its clean, masculine scent clung to her skin. Wrapped in the blankets, she made her way back to the main room, collapsing in front of the crackling fire, shivers still racking her body. Daniel emerged moments later, setting a steaming mug of tea beside her. "Hot tea, with sugar. Don't drink it too fast." He settled onto the couch, watching her with a tight, unreadable mask. The silence stretched, thick and heavy, broken only by the fire's gentle crackle and the storm's distant howl. "Why did you open the door?" Evelyn whispered, her voice fragile. "You could have left me out there." "Could I?" He moved to the window, back turned, staring into the swirling white. "Could I really have lived with myself? If I'd let you freeze to death on my porch, even after everything?" He turned, his gaze sharp and unforgiving. "I'm not like you, Miss Hart. I can't just turn off my humanity when it's inconvenient." The words landed like a physical blow. Shame burned across Evelyn's face, warring with the lingering cold. She began to speak of her years in foster care, her terror of weakness, the decades spent building impenetrable walls. Daniel listened, anger radiating from him like heat, yet his eyes never left her face. She confessed her loneliness, the profound, aching emptiness that had fueled her ruthless ambition. "I'm sorry." "Daniel," she whispered, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I was wrong, so completely wrong." His voice, when it finally came, was rough, thick with suppressed grief. "Sorry doesn't give me back the months I spent terrified we'd lose our home. Sorry doesn't heal the damage it did to Emma when she heard me crying in the bathroom because I didn't know how to provide for her." He stood, stepping closer, fists clenched at his sides. The air thrummed with his unleashed pain, a wave of sorrow and fury crashing over her. "Do you have any idea what that does to a person?" Evelyn, pinned by the raw emotion, could only shake her head. Tears streaming freely now, she wanted to reach out, to offer comfort. But his anger formed an invisible wall. His closeness, the shared warmth of the fire, made the longing for connection almost unbearable. Yet that promise of comfort remained tantalizingly out of reach. "It makes you question everything," Daniel continued, voice trembling. "Your worth, your judgment, whether you matter at all." He sank back into the armchair, utterly spent. "And that anger has been sitting inside me like poison, ever since." The storm quieted overnight, leaving a world sparkling under crisp morning light. Daniel and Evelyn stood by the window, coffee warming their hands. "I believe you want to change," he said, his gaze intense and searching. "But wanting to change and actually changing are very different things." He spoke of the long road ahead, the deep work required, the possibility that his trust might never fully return. His words were a challenge, a painful, necessary truth. As afternoon sun bled across the sky, painting the snow-covered mountains in purple and gold, Evelyn's car was hooked to a tow truck, a mangled monument to her old life. Daniel walked her to the waiting vehicle, the air between them charged with unspoken weight. "I meant every word I said," Evelyn pledged, voice fierce with conviction. "I'm going to change. I'm going to prove to you that people can become better than they were." His dark eyes, glowing amber in the fading light, held hers. He was close enough that she felt the faint warmth radiating from him, the ghost of his earlier touch lingering on her arms. "I will be watching," he said, voice low, a promise and a warning. "Don't disappoint me." "I won't," she vowed, the words carrying a silent plea. She climbed into the truck, forcing herself not to look back right away. But as it pulled away, she caught his reflection in the side mirror, standing on the porch, a lone, solid silhouette against the mountain, watching her leave. His gaze lingered until the road curved and stole her from sight, a complex blend of doubt, expectation, and a fragile, burgeoning hope. The ache wasn't from separation, but from how close they'd come to crossing a line, and why they hadn't. It was an ending, and a beginning, poised on the edge of a choice.